on January the 6th, 2021 here in Salem, Indiana. I'm sure people have seen those pictures of Thoth, Thoth. I've never really heard of him until a few years ago when I started on this journey. But I think it's really interesting about Thoth. You can see some different images. Hello everyone. You can see some different images on here of Thoth in these murals and all this kind of stuff. Oh, yeah. Hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello from my heart to yours, Christopher McDonald. You beat me to it. That is it's all right. It is quite all right. Well, this is only my third video today. The first video I did live by the stove, and then the second one I just uploaded. It was short. And now this one is that. But they don't give notifications. Maybe you need to hit that bell again, because I think sometimes they like unsubscribe you from that bell. And you know what? I haven't been getting that many traffic to the YouTube. I haven't. I really haven't. I think they're suppressing it. They are. Because they do a subscriber dump, I think, every month or something. Yes, hello. I am fine. I'm sitting here reading about Thoth, that Egyptian god, and the Atlanteans and all of that kind of stuff with Thoth. There's a lot to read about. I actually got a book on the Emerald Tablets that that I've been reading a tad bit. Yeah. Yes. So, love and blessings to you all too. So we have Thoth. We can look. Here's another thing of Thoth. Look at this ancient writing. Oh, look, there's the Emerald Tablets. What are you talking about, Gina? Can you save that image? I want to save that image. Maybe I want to go to that image. So that's the Emerald Tablets. I did not know that. Let's look at those Emerald Tablets. Look at that, you all. That's so cute. So yeah, these are the real Emerald Tablets. And you know, they said that they were indestructible, but it looks like it's got kind of some broken stuff on it. It really does. But they're supposed to be green. They really are. They're supposed to be green tablets. And he was supposed to have wrote all of this stuff on here. On these tablets in that writing right there, ancient Atlantean writing, you know. It says that Thoth, back in their history, he was around like 30,000 years ago during the Atlantean times, and I think he was 20,000 years old. I think that's what this book said before Atlantis came about, or something like that. It's really interesting. And you know, it says he would weigh the hearts of men, because he was given the job of, you know, the people when they die. Yeah, and he would write down everything that they did from the beginning of time and stuff. It's really interesting. It really, really is. But anyway, this is like these tablets. And you know what? In one of his writings, in his fifth tablet that he wrote, I'm just going to go to right here, because he writes like this about, in his tablet 5 of the Emerald Tablets, Thoth the Atlantean. It says that there was a spaceship beneath the Sphinx of the Great Pyramid. And so, well, we have the Great Pyramids. Here's the Great Pyramids right here. And he's talking about a spaceship underneath the Great Pyramids. And he built those Great Pyramids, they say, and the Sphinx too. So anyhow, this is how it goes. Let's read this. So it says, a raised eye to the light. Can you all see that? Raised eye to the light, the children of Kim, deep neath the rocks I buried my spaceship, waiting the time when man might be free. Over the spaceship erected a marker in the form of a lion, which would be the Sphinx, yet like unto a man. There neath the image rest yet my spaceship, forth to be brought when need shall arise. Know ye, O man, that far in the future invaders shall come from out of the deep, Then awake, ye who have wisdom, bring forth my ship and conquer with ease. Deep neath the image lies my secret. Search and find in the pyramid built. Each to the other is the keystone, each the gateway that leads into life. Follow the key I leave behind me. Seek, and the doorway of to life shall be thine. Seek thou in my pyramid, and deep in the passage it ends in the wall. Use thou the key of 7. Open up the pathway will fall. Now unto thee I give wisdom, now unto given my way. Follow the pathway, solve thou my secrets, and to thee I have shown the way. So he's got this spaceship, and he's talking about these invaders that will come from, I guess, from inside the earth. You may say, Gina, there is no way. That is all made up. No, I really don't think it's made up. And I think Atlantis was a city. It was like a continent. It was like something that existed. You saw Thoth and you clicked so fast. Yeah, I was going to upload the introduction to this book because I recorded myself in it, and I thought, yeah, I don't want to hear about the introduction because it was like 13 minutes long. I read the introduction of this, and it was really neat about Thoth, about the history of the tablets. Like, I got to get this situated, you all, because this is really kind of interesting about him. If you like history, it says, yeah, it says it dates back. The antiquity of these tablets dates back 36,000 years BC. Isn't that something? 36,000 BC. Well, was that about, no, wait a minute. So we have 36,000 years BC, and then they say around every 3,600 years there is a reset on Earth. You know, reset of humankind and all that kind of stuff. Well, that kind of sounds pretty interesting. But they said for 16,000 years, Thoth ruled the ancient race of Egypt from approximately 50,000 BC to 36,000 BC. And at the time, the ancient barbarous race among which he and his followers had settled had been raised to a high degree of civilization. Thoth was an immortal. He had conquered death, passing only when he willed, and even then not through death. And they said he had the power to lay his life down and then take it back up at will, and he could reincarnate. And he did that a few times. He did it around 3 times, and he came back one time as Hermes. Thoth did. And you know, I read something about Christianity, that a lot of the writings in there, well, I shouldn't say a lot, but some of them were taken from this right here, writings of Thoth. It was. And all how they wrote in there, it was about other people's births and stuff. And I'm not being blasphemous, I'm not. I'm just telling you, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, it's kind of neat. But about that spaceship, they said that there were, I got here on this page about this spaceship when they came, when the spaceships came and he got in his ship. Here's how you talk about his ship. He said that his ship was, it says the ship of the master was a ship capable of traveling between planets, and it was armed with weapons that could destroy every living thing. You get that? Every living thing on Earth's surface if used at full power. So back then they had ships that could destroy. It's got weapons on it that can destroy every living thing on Earth's surface if it was used full power. And in the atmosphere, it was driven by atomic motors. That's pretty high tech. And outside the heavy side layer, it could be moved by thought. You can move that ship by thought, with your thought. Only between planets, but into any space the mind of the pilot could visualize. It could go anywhere that your mind could visualize. You could go with that ship. And I can't really see it. Let me look at that. I got to find out where I'm at. Yeah. Its structure was such that its materiality raised or lowered in vibration as the will of the operator commanded. So yeah, it could raise, it could lower. They had ships, and his ship was underneath the pyramid, under the Sphinx. Um, and it says, as Thoth left the island of Unau, although he does not mention that he left it, the great temple or the palace or the place of the dweller also sank but not destroyed. The barbarians, upon meeting Thoth and his followers, the Atlanteans, they attempted to kill them, but they were struck motionless by a paralyzing ray from Thoth's staff or rod of power. Thoth had a staff and a rod of power. The rod was capable of transmitting or casting forth hundreds of different manifestations of force directed by the will of the holder. Now, wait a minute. Moses threw down his rod and it turned into a snake. Yeah, he did. And the magicians threw theirs down and it turned into a snake. But then Moses' rod, it swallowed up the other ones. So that is kind of interesting, you all. Oh, well, thank you. So, yeah, this bird god, I'm not being disrespectful if I call him a bird god because he had a beak. He has a beak on here. And I don't know why he has a beak, but he has a beak. Yeah, and you know, also in that story, it talks about the tablets. It talks about 7 lords. You know, they talk about 7 angels. 7 angels in the book of Revelation, 7 candlesticks. And they talk about 7 lords in charge of things in them tablets. And these tablets are very, very old, they say. So, yeah, he was a blue avian. Yeah. So it was quite interesting. Did you want to hear that introduction of that? A little bit of history of the Atlanteans. I'd have to let you hear it because I don't want to read it again. I don't want to read it again. Yeah, we can hear it. I can open the project and we can hear my voice on it, but I don't want to read it. Yeah, you can look at me while the voice is playing. Yeah, yeah. So let me cancel that right there. You have his tattoo on your whole back? Oh, that is so interesting. Modem? That really is. Oh, okay. We can go ahead. Yeah. If I can push this play button, and you should be able to hear it. I'm going to turn my volume up. How the book looks like this. Thoth. But you can go on the computer and you can download it in the PDF file. Well, this says you can download it. And you know, you can just type it in and you can find all kinds of things on Thoth. You can. Oh my goodness, ironically, you was listening to the book of Thoth just the other day. Whoa, I think that's great. I do. Hello. Hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello from my heart to yours. I'm going to read about the emerald tablets of Thoth the Atlantean. Could you all hear that? I'm going to read about the emerald tablets of Thoth the Atlantean. Okay. Hello. Hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello from my heart to yours. I'm going to read about the emerald tablets of Thoth the Atlantean. And if you haven't heard about him, which I hadn't until recently, it's pretty interesting. So let's listen to the introduction to this. The history of the tablets translated in the following pages is strange and beyond the belief of modern scientists. Their antiquity is stupendous, dating back some 36,000 years BC. The writer is Thoth, the Atlantean priest king, who founded a colony in ancient Egypt after the sinking of the mother country. He was the builder of the Great Pyramid of Giza erroneously attributed to Cheops, the Great Pyramid by Dorio. See that? In it, he incorporated his knowledge of the ancient wisdom and also securely secreted records and instruments of ancient Atlantis. For some 16,000 years, he ruled the ancient race of Egypt from approximately 50,000 BC to 36,000 BC. At that time, the ancient barbarous race among which he and his followers had settled had been raised to a high degree of civilization. Thoth was an immortal, that is, he had conquered death, passing only when he willed, and even then not through death. His vast wisdom made him ruler over the various Atlantean colonies, including the ones in the South and Central America. When the time came for him to leave Egypt, he erected the Great Pyramid. Over the entrance to the great halls of Amenti, he placed in its records and appointed guards for his secrets from among the highest of his people. In later times, the descendants of these guards became the pyramid priests. While Thoth was defied as the god of wisdom, the recorder, by those in the ages of the darkness which followed his passing, and in legend, the halls of Amenti became the underworld, the halls of the gods, where the soul passed after the death for judgment. During the later ages, the ego of Thoth passed into the bodies of men in the manner described in the tablets. As such, he incarnated 3 times, in his last being known as Hermes, Yeah, there you have it, the motives 9.
Mm.
thrice born. In this reincarnation, he left the writings known to the modern occultists. That's about all I'm going to play for that. I really am. I'm not going to play no more because it's kind of rude playing that. There were automations protecting the chambers of Thoth. Yeah, I read about that. I really did. So yeah, he did reincarnate 3 times. And you know, you have in the Bible, you have John the Baptist, who was Moses, who came back in the spirit. You had Moses, you had Elijah, okay? And then you had Elijah, who came to John the Baptist. He had the spirit of Elijah, John the Baptist. So he reincarnated into, yeah. Oh my goodness. So yeah. So there's so interesting, but the interesting thing there is his spaceship. He had a spaceship beneath the pyramid, and it had firepower, is what it had. Wonder why they didn't scratch all these engravings off these things right here. I just wonder why they didn't. So you can look at these engravings. You imagine how long it took to inscribe and engrave those. Yeah, it took a long time to do all of that. Of course, that's a stock. Look at these things up here. Look at these up here at the top. We got some skies here, and it's not nice either. Look at that. I'd like to look inside the pyramid, but that's okay. I don't want to get on all these stock photos. I really don't. But that's about all they have in there, you all. Spiritual things like that. Yeah. Now, granted, look at this. Was this a movie? The Emerald Tablet of Thoth. Look at these. What? Did you ever see that right there? The image result for spaceship under the Sphinx, the pyramids, Orion's belt, the ancient civilization, all of that. Have you all seen that? I've not seen it before. I really haven't. That is kind of interesting to see that, like that overhead. Boom, just like that. See these pyramids on here? That looks like it's in the inverted mode. Yeah, I heard they do line up perfectly, all of it, but you know, that was so strange. Seeing that and reading that, Christine Faith, thank you. You're so very welcome. You're very welcome. Okay, and that's not really, you know, and there's people say you got these floating cities right here, and wonder if that's a missing island floating in Earth atmosphere. You know, one time in China there was a city, Raymond Tavares, thank you. Yeah, so one day in China there was a city that appeared in China, and then it like disappeared in the sky. It was really interesting. But back to Thoth, and he hid his ship under um, under the pyramid. Yeah, I've never heard of that before. I really hadn't. Not just Egypt, yeah, all over the world. Wonder why you don't hear much about him, but you sure got all of his stuff on here. Um, 1:40 a.m. Connie Power. Oh my gosh, that is so early for you. Well, I'll tell you what happens. I sit here and I debate, do I want to go online? It's awful late. I don't really have nothing to talk about, and then I do. Yeah. Oh, look at this. This is kind of neat. No, I don't think surely it did not look like that. The USS Thoth NCC 79989, surely it did not look like that. Do you think it looked like that? I don't think it looked like that. Well, that would be wild if it looked like that Star Trek Enterprise. Oh my gosh, I hope it didn't. I really do hope it didn't look like that. Hermes Trismegistus, a Space Force logo. Yeah, all of that right there. Um, yeah, so you can look that up. You can read some of the things that were written. It's kind of like stanzas, kind of like a Nostradamus and stuff. That's what it reminds me of, Nostradamus. My book don't look like that, but he existed. And if they got all this, okay, they got all this information on him. And if he did not exist, they wouldn't have all this information and the Atlanteans and all of that. Yeah. So let's see right here. You're being annoying Egyptian. Man boo. Man boo. Do you remember your follower from Egypt? Greetings. Yes, greetings to you. Yeah. Marry me in the UK. I can't. Yeah. Yeah. Um, some say that they are fallen angels. Some say everything's fallen angels. Really, they do. Anything that they don't know about or anything that's new is considered a fallen angel or of the devil. That's what people say, and they're demonic. Um, yeah. And I didn't know people thought like that until I came on this journey. I really did not know people thought like that and said things like that, because I thought, wow, yeah. You can't put a razor blade, wow, between the blocks on the pyramids. That's perfectly made. Gina, did you see the alien artifact from Mexico? No, I didn't go. I rarely ever get on here and stuff. I don't. Um, yeah. Um, yeah. Yeah. Hello, Muhammad. Yeah. They're gods. You seen a baby bird from, oh, you saved a baby bird from drowning. Coronal mass Atlantis ejection, Mariwanta, backed up by Solomon. The Anunnaki are back for the ninth their children, and the Dogon tribe. I've heard of the Dogon tribe. I have. Of Mali cloaked ships, the Dogon tribe. I have heard of that. Yeah. So it's beings from other planets. Why else with the secrecy, you can talk angels and demons all day, but you didn't get into trouble. Something like that, yeah. So if you're just tuning in, something strange and fishy's going on. Well, there is something strange and fishy going on in this world that we live in, and we just got to weather through it. We do. Yeah. Love and light for you. You feel like you're sitting around a campfire just talking about everything. Well, that's a good way to be. If you're just tuning in, he's talking about this spaceship underneath the Great Pyramid. Raised I to the light, the children of Kim, deep beneath the rocks. I buried my spaceship, wanting the time when man might be free. Over the spaceship erected a marker in the form of a lion, that's the Sphinx, yet like unto a man, and thereneath the image rests my spaceship, forth to be brought when need shall arise. And he says, know ye, O man, that far in the future invaders shall come from out of the deep. Then awake, ye who have wisdom, bring forth my ship and conquer with ease. Deep beneath the image lies my secret. Search and find the pyramid built. So yeah, I think we all have put on a YouTube Mason. No, I put on YouTube Freemason Bible and ancient Egyptian God. That'd be scary. I heard that the Freemason Bibles, if you get an actual Freemason Bible, I heard it has blood on it. That's not nice. It's not. Yeah, it's not nice at all. The Real Merkaba channel. You know, I started filming some stars in the sky tonight, some of those beautiful celestial beings. And then the clouds came. And then I couldn't get them anymore. And that was kind of disappointing. A new pyramid about the pyramids, the abyss. Yes, Benjamin, Caleb, I'm not joking. That's exactly what I heard. And I saw it with my own eyes. It was at a yard sale. Somebody was selling a free Mason Bible. And it had the blood on it. Like a blood drop or a blood print. And I'm not just saying that either. I'm not. A coronal mass ejection on the sun. A coronal mass ejection on the sun at the iswa.gsfc.nasa.gov. Well, see, we can do this because this is how you can go. So you visit this. So when you get to this page, we can look here really fast. You have to go right here. You launch it. I was looking at this one is what I was looking at earlier. And while you're here, you might as well see it. I don't like to jump into all these different conversations on here like this. But I was looking at that particular thing and I wondered why did this C3 difference thing, why did it have the notch in it? Why does the notch show up in it like that? That's what I was thinking. Why did the notch, and it closes up. It closes up completely. And then right here you have like something else coming out of it, even though they don't show this anymore. See, this came out of the sun. It's like this great big ship. But this is what, and this also came out. This is what, see this right here? This came out of the sun, you all. Look at that. What do you think that is? Even though it's kind of pixelated, that does not look normal to be coming out of the sun, this thing right here. And I was looking at that earlier. It looked like some kind of I'm having a hot flash, a big long ship is what it looks like. But it came out of this, and this one's discontinued. It really is. Look at, here it is right here. Look at this. That is some type of a great big ship. It looked like an end of a gun, a gunner thing right there. Well, I jump around on here, you all. So if you like order, if you like order for everything, I'm not the person for you to be watching because it'll drive you up a wall. If you like everything, need to stick to the subject. So yeah, see that right there? It came out of the sun. Oh my goodness, we are the same age. You know about I didn't used to get them. I didn't, but that's okay. See, that was kind of weird. And this really got me too. the shape of this right here. Look at the shape of this when it came out. It literally has like the ring, like a ring shape when it came out of there. How do you know them reptiles are on the earth? They are on the earth. They travel in the form of sound waves and they can materialize. I'm missing something. Yeah, I am. I'm supposed to be going here. And I'm supposed to be going to here. And where was that coronal thing? The only thing that's up to date, I would say, this one, I didn't see any coronal mass ejections, and I don't think we're going to. I didn't see it on here, you all. So I don't know when it would happen. Is this where it was supposed to be? Was it supposed to be on there, on that iswa.gsfc.nasa.gov? I do like to say it. No, I'm not. That's exactly right. 20. Whoo! Yeah. Curious as to why you named this Thoth spaceship. Well, because I'm talking about Thoth. He had a spaceship that was underneath the pyramid. It's in his fifth tablet. You know, I got this book right here, and it's underneath the pyramid. And that's what I was talking about earlier in the video, Thoth and his spaceship, like right here. No, I haven't seen no commercial about that. Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about, not this right here. Thoth is a big blue planet. It could be. Yeah. So you'd have to watch that. You heard that. No one can say she does not get to look at this. So look at that. And he was known as a scriber. He liked to write down everything. And you say he was a blue avian? I heard of Gene Roddenberry when they went to the Galactic Federation. Wow, yeah, I wondered where he got all of his ideas. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay, Anja Sage. Have you read the compendium of the Emerald? I don't know what a compendium is, and I'm just being honest. I'm going to have to look it up. Compendium. Compendium. I've got to have to look that word up. I've heard it, but I don't know what it means. Compendium. It's kind of a big word. We have got this. It's a concise collection of information pertaining to a body of knowledge. A compendium may summarize a larger work. In most cases, the body of knowledge will concern a specific field of human interest or endeavor, while a general encyclopedia can be referred to as a compendium of all human knowledge. So have I read the compendium? No, but I just got this book of the Emerald tablets right here. Let me do this. This book right here, I'm going to read it. It has a lot of his tablets and stuff in it. It has the, yeah, so I don't know. That's what it is, yeah. So, yeah, I was going to read some parts of it, and I'm not really a reader. I'm probably going to skim through it really fast. Well, you just told me to carefully read it, and I like to skim through things fast, is what I like to do. Yeah. Jenna, I am Alpha. Yeah. The reptilian entities have truly infiltrated every part and control of the structure of Earth. That's probably true. Now my nose is trying to get rid. Oh my goodness. Yes. Modem. Somebody needs to be careful. Yeah. Oh, there ain't nothing much going on. You've heard of that tablet in your early youth. I've never heard of it until now. Um, I thought it was really interesting because I was looking at the Atlanteans, and he was like the ruler of the Atlanteans. Yeah, and then they went down. So that was pretty interesting. We got to get back to this because I have to come back to it. The emerald tablets images, and you can see them right here. They're supposed to be green. Well, they said they were green, and they were supposed to be indestructible. But these are those. Look, the emerald tablets of Hermes, because he came back as Hermes also. Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about in this spaceship that was underneath the Sphinx, underneath the pyramid, that he used to defeat his people who came from within. Modem, you got some of the tablet tattooed on your back as well? Wow, I bet that hurt. It probably did hurt. Yeah, look at that. I don't think that's not the real one because he would have gloves on his hands. I think these were just somebody just fakes. Yeah. And I don't think they look like that, but yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting. So with that being said, I probably am going to go since I'm running out of words. Your tattoo artist is slow. Atlantis was in Marinata there. King Atlas lived 11,500 years ago. Around the same time, a global cataclysm took place in Mariantia. Yes. Yeah. Oh, well, you're so very welcome. I think, yeah. Um, yes, you all have a good night too. Yeah, I've heard about crystals and stuff. There has to be something to it. There really does have to be something to the crystals. Um, After all is dead. Um, oh, you listen to it at night. That's great. That's great. Yeah. Well, I am going to go. Thank you all for tuning in on here. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening.